Okay, moving over to this shelf here. All these locomotives on this shelf are European locomotives, with exception of two at the end. But these have some unique body styles and characteristics that I find quite intriguing, and that's why I like to also run European locomotives on my layout. So this one here is a Class 211 Deutsche Bundesbahn locomotive. It is fairly iconic on German railways, very popular, and I believe this one's about 1100 horsepower. I think this one falls under the class V100.1, I believe, and this one is a Roco DCC. Runs very well. As you can see, there's even the good details inside the cab. And this one is a very similar locomotive. It's a next generation. It's a class 212, and so therefore it goes as a V100.2. And this one, I believe, it's about a 1350 horsepower locomotive, used for typical either light passenger or light freight work, and also used for switching. Now this one is a Fleischmann locomotive, but I do have a few problems with this one because unlike this one, which is all axle pickup, this one picks up only from two axles from one of the trucks, and so because it has a short wheelbase on the truck, I have a little bit of hard time. It has a minor what do you call a momentary stall on some of my PICO large radius points or switches. Gotta come up with a fix for that. This one here is a Class 218 German locomotive as well, German rail, and very iconic on German railways. And this one has, I think, about 2800 horsepower. This also has a diesel hydraulic. It's a diesel hydraulic and not a diesel electric. It has a hydraulic transmission on it. And this model is built by Fleischmann. And this particular model is also a track cleaning locomotive, but I have temporarily disabled the track cleaning module so that I can run it as a regular locomotive. Over here we have actually both electric locomotives here are made by Roco. Again, I love Roco locomotives. They're built very solid and really good runners. They both have really good CAN motors inside them, and all-wheel drive, or all-axle drive. Both of these actually have working pantographs that you can turn on or turn off. You can run with pantograph or just on rail. This one is a Austrian livery for Austrian railroads, and this is one of the ones that I actually run with these coaches. All right, and the green electric locomotive is also it's a German locomotive. All right, so what you're going to see here are some of my favorite steams. These are 4 German steam locomotives of Deutsche Bundesbahn, and this is the first one here is a Class 64 tank locomotive. It's a 262, runs really well and some good details. This one is a Fleischmann model, and it has the Ringfield motor on it. It's a loco drive with Ringfield motor on it. This one here is a Class 53 Fleischmann locomotive, and this one is a little bit newer. It actually has the new Ringfield motor that's also with a DCC enabled plug on it, and it runs very well. And this one is a 060. This is a Class 55 080 German steam locomotive. This one is a tender drive. These two are loco drives, and this is also built by Fleischmann, and a really good runner. This one here, this beauty over here is a it's a 482. It's a 482 German Class 41 locomotive, and it is built by Marklin. This is the only Marklin locomotive I have. It's a Marklin Hamo, and at the time when they built these Hamos, they were built like tanks. The motors inside them are completely dismantleable, and you can complete service it inside out with ease and put it back together again, and it just runs like a charm. They don't build locomotives like this anymore, or at least so. I love the Hamos, and for those of you who are Marklin fans, who are not too familiar with Marklin at least, the Hamos are their DC versions. Typical Marklins are AC locomotives, right, for your layouts. So 3-rail, and this is a 2-rail DC locomotive. And you'll notice that one thing I like about these German steam locomotives is that they have beautiful colors. I like the red and black combination of them that just stands out and looks fairly unique. What you're seeing here is the last of my German locomotives. These are the ICE train, which is the Inner City Express, and this is built by Roco, a very good manufacturer. I've actually modified this one with a NCE DCC decoder on it, and it actually has the flashing lights and all that on it now. Over here is a British Rail class 42 warship class locomotive, and this one is built by Fleischmann. This one actually used to belong to my dad, who's also really into model trains, and he handed this over to me as he has now switched over to N-scale. And so I guess I'll be taking care of this baby moving forward. It's a great locomotive. Now in real life, this one is a diesel hydraulic, I believe, and I could be wrong there, but this one is fairly unique because this locomotive originally came with 2 Maybach MD650 prime movers on them. So they have a unique sound to it, and so that's an interesting locomotive. Now what I'm going to be doing with this one is I'm going to be putting in a DCC decoder on this one, sound decoder on it, and I already have the appropriate faceplate to modify this ring field motor and put in the DCC decoder with it, and I'll definitely have a video on that sometime soon. What you're seeing at the end here is one of the oldest Fleischmann locomotives that I actually have. It is a Fleischmann locomotive from the era of, I think, 1965, and it's still in fairly good shape. It's a Baldwin. It's a model of a Baldwin VO, and it runs pretty well. A little noisy, but runs pretty well, and the light functions and everything. It's just a collector's model, I think, at this point, but it's a nice locomotive.